Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Jets Radio. This is one of your hosts, Tyson Roush, and as expected, we have a very busy show for you tonight. A lot to talk about. Super Bowl's coming up. You have free agency around the corner, and then the draft and everything else. So, plenty to talk about. Obviously, I guess one of the first things we got to talk about before we talk about this team or football or anything else is the passing of Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the other unfortunate members of this helicopter crash. And I guess, Joe, what I want to do is I want to hand this off to you because you're out there in California, and for me, this is gut-wrenching. There's very few moments in life where you have this experience where it's a person that you don't really know, like a person you never met before. And to me, I've been devastated since, and I know that you're out there, so I guess I'll leave this to you and just let you share your thoughts on this.
Yeah, look, Kobe is literally one of my childhood heroes. I grew up, I played basketball my entire life. I've been a Laker fan my entire life. Growing up in, Long Beach, we're still within that LA area. Everybody down there is devastated. This is a dude, just outside of on the court stuff, the off the court stuff, just how he handled himself, the impact that he had in the community, the Mamba Academy stuff that he was doing as well. It's just a big loss for LA. Man, I'm trying to hold back on tears here, but yeah, I just want to say rest in peace to him. His daughter Gigi as well. So sad. Her life was, she passed so young, and also the rest that were affected as well. Others that lost their lives on that plane, or that helicopter, as well. So I just want to say rest in peace to Kobe, and it's really, really tough. But I know people are trying their best to get through it. But he definitely was loved beyond imagination. I mean, there's been people that have done murals of him already, and everyone's riding around down there with their Laker flags out, and they got his jerseys out, and they're rocking them. And he will definitely be missed here.
Yeah, it's the kind of story where you see it and you're like, there's no way that's true. Like this, he's like an immortal. Like this is like a hero that you just think is invincible, and that's never going to happen. And it happens, and you're like, there's no way. And then, his daughter and everybody else on the I keep saying planes, helicopter. And the one thing that's the most fascinating thing about this, or the thing that I think we all like in this day and age with social media and the world and sports coverage and everything else, is everybody focuses on the negatives, and everybody wants a big headline, and all the things that he did behind the scenes that nobody ever knew about. And so now, there's story after story after story, how he showed up at a children's hospital, or how he, he would stop by, dude, there's endless stories that we had no idea about. And so many times, we form opinions about our favorite athletes based on, he missed that free throw, or he did this, or he sucks, or this or that, whatever. And behind the scenes, there's so many good things that go on and happen that we have no idea about. And it's just, it's crazy that it's just how this all comes up like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the type of guy he was. Like you said, social media, and that's why I'm not the biggest fan of social media. I've said it for years. It's a dumpster fire. There's a lot of people out there that just want to focus on negativity, that always have something negative to say, that, always want to disrespect people consistently. And, to those people, I just say, hey, get yourselves a life. Do something else. Fix what you got going on, because that dude did a lot off the court, a lot for especially, underprivileged youth. He would show up at games. I've heard people talk about him showing up and critiquing them as well for basketball. So that's huge, man. There's a lot of kids out there that literally turn their lives around because he gave them a model to watch and follow. There's so many guys that I know that didn't grow up in great situations that had Kobe, as their hero, that said, hey, I'm going to do whatever I can do to get to where he's at. Or, I wake up every day and I just push and strive to hope that Kobe's going to be happy with whatever I'm doing in my life. There's so many guys that I know that are like that. So, I'm telling you, he meant a lot to LA, and a lot to the people of LA as well. So, it's tough.
Yeah, and like you said, it's like thoughts and prayers with all the families that are involved. It's tragic. There's a lot of times there's just no words. Like the pain and suffering they must be going through, and all certain things you can never recover from. It's just something you're never ever going to forget. And it goes, like, you think about it, and it's like you hear about all his stories, that things he does behind the scenes, and there's a lot of professional athletes that do that. And there's times that I wish that, like, positive stories don't get attention because nobody wants to read them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just the way it is. Like, if you see, just say whoever, Quincy Enunwa goes to a school and reads books to kids, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Quincy Enunwa gets fined and mouths off, that gets headlines all over Pro Football Talk, it's just like, it's such a sad state of affairs where, you have so much good in this world that never gets recognized or nobody cares about. They just want to focus on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, situations like this highlight that, because now it's like you're learning all of these things, and even the people that weren't big Kobe fans are like, wow, I never realized that. I never knew this. I never knew that. It's like, dude, there's a whole different side of people out there. A lot of times we don't realize.
Yeah, it is, and that's why, and we talk about it all the time. That's why our platform is important as well. Because we highlight a lot of the good things that are going on, with some of the players that are on the team. We do charity stuff as well here, the Mighty Lions Foundation. We do various other things about the cancer stuff that we do, the cancer research stuff we do, the stuff that we do with the New Jersey Food Bank, the toy drive, all that stuff, all the stuff that we get involved with is huge because we shine a positive light on what's going on out there. There's other basketball players around, not just basketball players, but NFL players as well, that come back, and I've seen, in my neighborhood that I grew up with or around, they come and they do the same thing, but they keep it on the low or it's not reported at all. Because like you said, a lot of people don't want to report what's happening until something else that they can shine a negative light on, something else to get some clicks. All the positivity and all the things they do just kind of get shoved aside. We just got to get these clicks. We got to keep pushing negativity, man. And I'm telling you, you guys are going to keep hearing more and more and more about the stuff that Kobe was doing within the community. The same thing with Nipsey Hussle when we lost him as well. You hear more and more and more about the stuff he was doing in the community. And like I said, there's other players too. Willie McGinnis, other guys, Shaquille O'Neal. Dude, they've done a lot of stuff, in the neighborhoods, poor neighborhoods, neighborhoods filled with kids of color as well, that didn't have a lot of options, and they opened things up and gave them options. So, it's all about shining a positive light, man. And like, I'm gonna just keep saying this to people. I'm telling you, Kobe is going to be missed here. He is going to be missed, and we're just gonna try to deal with it as best we can.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like you said, with the platform we have, like we've been a part of a lot of charity events with a lot of players that show up that don't want us to announce it. Excuse me.
Yep.
They don't want to. They don't want to. Like, they don't want any kind of money for it. They just show up. They spend time with kids. They do things, and they leave. And it's the funny thing is, we'll invite members of the media to come. It's like, listen, hey man, we're doing an event, charity event. The player's going to show up. This and that. Dude, the media never shows up. They don't care. So unless they're guaranteed an interview with Adam Gase or Sam Darnold. They don't care. But meanwhile, it's like, here's a story where it's like, you know what? You have an opportunity to use your platform to give a better message out there. Saying, hey, listen, you know what? The one thing, like Calvin Pryor at one time, Christmas Eve went out and met a kid. Like, Lorenzo Malden came, hours out of his way to go to an event. Nobody knew about it. He wouldn't take anything, dude. He wouldn't take any free gifts. He wouldn't take money. He wouldn't do nothing. Like, a lot of these guys do this stuff, and nobody wants to talk about it. And it's crazy. It's just like, wow, like, we can sit here and talk about a guy missing practice or not going to a meeting and whatever else, or, hey, and it's just like something that's so significantly more important. A lot of people don't want to report on or talk about because it's just not important enough when it's 10 times more important than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's crazy. Like you said, I wouldn't bring it up, but there's a lot. We've definitely, you guys have definitely invited the media down. There's a lot of people that will not show up or do not show up. But yeah, there's a lot going on good with many athletes that are out there touching their communities. Like I said, going back to Kobe, I mean, I've heard various stories of him going to camps and not only just putting on his own camps, but going to other camps as well. And, critiquing kids and telling them, hey, look, this is how you need to work out. This is how you need to prepare. Hey, when you do that on your jump shot, you need to fix this. You need to fix that. And pushing them to get better at the game. And not just, men's basketball, women's basketball too. We all know his daughter played, at a college too. He was down there with her teammates, working with stuff with her, put together that stuff. So that's big, man, because when you're out there and you're touching youth and you're helping them and you're giving them the keys to, continue to strive and push in life, that's big. That does nothing but better everything else around you, as well as better in their lives, making them better human beings. And that's what the world needs.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's just, it's just crazy. It's just a surreal experience. Like, you just don't know what to do. Then it's like there's so much you can take away from it where it's like, listen, like, make that impact in the community, make a big difference. It doesn't have to be negative. You can inspire people and do things for others and everything else, and it's just crazy. So don't mean to, like, completely go off the trend of football or whatever else, but this is kind of something we got to talk about, especially with Joe being out there in California. Obviously, we'll talk some football now, and obviously Super Bowl week. You can find this show on Instagram and Twitter at Talk Jets Radio. We're on YouTube, Let's Talk Jets Radio. We have Let's Talk Mental Health, a YouTube channel that I started with Primetime. We got a lot of stuff going on with that too, so if you want, subscribe to that channel. And Joe, let me introduce you now officially. Long Beach Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm doing the best I can. Like I said, I was impacted by Kobe passing. Like I said, everyone else. And I want to just, again, give my condolences, let everyone know my thoughts and prayers are with everyone that was affected, the families that, were involved in the helicopter crash, So we're trying to do the best we can to get through it. But, I can't wait to get into what we got to get into, man. We got a lot of Jet stuff to talk about, a lot of things that, could be changing coming soon with the team. So I can't wait to get into it. So listen, I'm the man of the people. I am here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote our Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Let's Talk Jets Radio. Like that page. Our content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message us. We'll message you right back. We love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also leave us some feedback. We love hearing about what you folks think we do here on Let's Talk Jets Radio. So without further ado, Ty, let's go ahead and get to the show, man. I'm fired up.
Yeah, as always, 929-477-2651. And we're on Spreaker. We're on iTunes. If you want to download it, we're live with Blog Talk on Tuesday nights. And, Joe, obviously, we can talk Super Bowl first real quick. It's so nice to have your Super Bowl with the Patriots not in it. You can actually enjoy the week. You can actually look forward to something else, which, to me, is super exciting. It's just nice to not have them there. But what are your thoughts on this game, man? This, to me, is an excellent matchup. And the cool part of it is you have the Chiefs, who haven't been there in 50 years, that are just desperate, like Jet fans, to win one. Then you have the 49ers, your neck of the woods, a legendary organization. But you have two young quarterbacks, young players, first-time experience for so many players. To me, it's just so cool to see all this.
Yeah, it is. It is very cool. I know, like you said, the Patriots are not in anymore, but, I don't count them out next year. I know they're going to do some things to retool, and I can see them put something together to really try to, get back and make another run, for years to come. So we'll be seeing what they do on the horizon and watching them. But sticking with the Super Bowl this year, man, this is going to be a good one. I really, really think so. You look at this situation, like you said, two young QBs out there fighting. I mean, start the Chiefs. I mean, Mahomes is. This guy is crazy. Like, he can do it all. I'm talking about a franchise quarterback. You got it. I mean, this guy can throw it. He can figure out coverages very quickly. He's mobile. He can move, make plays with his feet. I mean, it's crazy. And they have so many weapons on that Kansas City offense. Travis Kelce, Hill, even the guys that don't get a lot of shine outside of, like, Watkins, Hardman. They got some guys, man. Even their running backs, Williams, Shady McCoy. They got so many guys that are just so great. And then you got Andy Reid. Remember, Andy Reid was the guy that was washed up. Oh, he'll never get to a Super Bowl. Oh, he sucks. He's not a very good coach. Oh, he shouldn't go to Kansas City. He should sit back for about 5-6 years after the Eagles, because you're trash, you're washed up, you're never going to be good. He just goes down there and, schemes up, continues to handle business, surrounds himself with, great offensive mind like Eric Bieniemy, one of those guys that are probably going to be up for a head coaching job next year as well. His name is flying around just like it was last season. Just surrounds himself with great offensive minds, puts together a scheme, kind of bends his scheme to what people do well within his team, and they just go out there and they will light you up. They will light you up. They will put 40 points up on you before the half if you do not come out and really, deal with them and handle business. You turn the ball over against the Chiefs, they'll put up 6 easily. You look at the Niners, man, the Niners are a solid team as well. That front, that defense, we talk about our issue of finding pass rushers, they got guys that get after it. Bosa, all those other guys they got behind him as well. Those guys will crush you. We've seen them completely decapitate quarterbacks before. I mean, I remember watching the game. I think they were playing the Cleveland Browns, and they were just giving Baker fits. He didn't know what was going on out there. Like, it's crazy. That defense gets after it, but that offense is very solid, too. They do something well that we don't do here well, which is run the football. They run the football very well. And they don't have to have their starter either. You know, we know that Coleman had dealt with an injury in the last game that they played. They brought in Mozart, a guy's a backup. He's fine. He can run the ball as well. You know, they got other backs behind him that can run the ball as well. Jimmy G is asked to do certain things in this game. He delivers. You know, so that's a tough football team up there, man. And they're young, so they're going to be around for years to come. They got a lot of franchise guys that still got 10, 11 years left in them. You know, that's getting after it, that's making big plays right now. So, man, I'm telling you, those are two teams, that I can't wait to see play in this game, man.
Yeah, and you figure they have, you mentioned Kelsey, you have Kittle. Like, they have guys where it's like, man, there's playmakers, dominant playmakers. There's guys you got to double team, maybe triple team at times. Like, there's so many things you got to account for. And then you look at the Jets, and it's like, all right, this is obviously our goal. We waited for this for about 3 million years. And, yeah, I got time to make a transition here. That's called a radio transition. I tried, man.
He said, then you look at the Jets. Oh, my God.
We got to keep it real here.
We went straight from Beverly Hills to the trash heap. This was crazy. Then you look at the Jets. What?
But
then
you look
at the Jets what?
I'm going to make
for cautionary tales of what not to do. What?
So when you the first thing,
go ahead.
When you go, the next step for the Jets is you got to enter free agency, and obviously you try to keep your own players and make decisions there. But here's a real fascinating thing that I've been kicking around for the last 3 days because I clearly have no life. And it's like, all right, when you look at a team as a free agent, you're going to look at the facility, where they practice at, where they play at. Florham Park is beautiful. The area to live around is beautiful. MetLife, even though we all hate it, it's a newer stadium. New York City, you have all that. That's fine. In terms of being recruited, you have Jamal Adams, you have Sam Darnold. Completely cool. In terms of money, the Jets have cap space. Here is the question that I have that I think is going to be answered, and it's going to put Joe Douglas in a very difficult situation. If you're a player and you say, listen, I'm not really sure on the Jets, but they gave me a pretty good sales pitch. Why do I want to sign here? Is the head coach on the hot seat? Because I don't want to go to a team with a lame duck coach. Will Joe Douglas be in a situation where he's got to say, listen, Adam Gate's not on the hot seat. He's going to be here at least the next 2 or 3 years. And Joe, I think a part of me thinks they're going to have to say that because after the contract, you get the money. Like, listen, I don't want to play for a guy. Like, if I buy into whatever stuff Adam Gase is selling me, I don't want another coach next year. I want to play for what I want stability. I want continuity. I want to stay in the same offense or whatever it is. Because Joe Douglas has to give some kind of assurance saying, listen, we're going to keep this staff in place at least for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe here's the thing. That could be a double-edged sword. It could be a help. Maybe some guys, for whatever reason, would want to come here and say, okay, look, if I come here, is this head coach, is Gaze going to be here for the next 2 years so I can stay in the same scheme? But I believe you're going to have a lot of players, and some of those players might be on our roster. One of them is probably Quincy Enunwa. That's going to look at this situation and go, is he going to be here 2 more years? Because if he is, I'm not coming to play for y'all. I'm not going to be nowhere near what's going on around here. You can see that. There's players, like I said, that are already on the roster. Enunwa already popped off on Twitter about, things that was going on within the facility. A big part of it was Gaze. Then we got Le'Veon Bell, that clearly him and Gaze have issues. So you would think that if Gaze is here 2 more years, do you think that Le'Veon Bell is going to be here 2 more years? I mean,
but I'm saying, but not even the guys that aren't but just say, for example, there's a pretty good chance Sammy Watkins of the Chiefs will be released because they can't afford to pay their third receiver that much money. So if you bring in Sammy Watkins at Florham Park and Jamal Adams has him recruited, he likes Sam Darnold, he's going to listen, man, I'm going to come here, but I don't want to have a new coach every year. Can you assure me that Adam Gase will be here a couple of years? I want to have the same coach. I want stability. especially after coming from Kansas City. What does Joe
Yeah.
Douglas say? Like, how do you handle that?
Well, he'd have to say, whatever it takes to get the guy in here at this point. Like, that's his thing. If he wants to say, hey, yeah, Adam Gase is going to be here 2 more years and sell guys like that, that's what he's going to have to do. Now, if you sell a guy that and Adam comes in here and we completely implode next year and he goes, only wins, let's say he only wins 2 or 3 games next year, what do you think is going to happen? There's no way you can keep him here, especially if the offense continues to be as bad as it's been. There's no way. I mean, unless you're just going to force feed him to us again like you did this year after seeing how bad the offense was this year, you got to get rid of him. So, yeah, he's going to have to sell to some guys, look, he's going to be here 2 more years. Be rest assured you're going to be in the same system. But he's also got to understand, especially as a general manager, he needs to identify, hey, when things are not working, he needs to make changes. Because we saw that in the past. There was years where Todd Bowles should have been fired, and we talked about that. Look, this guy is – remember the start of the rebuild, I think, is really where it was critical to get rid of him. And we were saying, hey, look, this guy is not the guy to lead this rebuild. This shouldn't be the guy that we start this team over with because his ineptness as a head coach could really hinder the growth of our young players, right? Remember we were talking about that. If you're seeing the same thing out of Adam Gase, you need to get his ass out of here as soon as possible. He should not have another year because we saw the effect. I know.
I'm just saying just the whole, like, my concern is just free agency in itself. Like, how do we handle it? Because, just the impression was, listen, there was, they for a good portion of the season, everybody wanted him fired. They won 6 of their last 8 for whatever, blah, 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 good for them. And now, supposedly, like, they're trying to give off this persona of, like, oh, we're a stable organization. We have this blueprint. We have this plan. But to me, you have the whole question about, is Adam Gase going to come back? The second part of this, which I think is another concern of mine, is, all right, we went, all season long we've talked about this. The whole thing with Osemele, the thing with Anunwa, the thing with
exactly,
Quincy.
that's right.
We had the thing with Jamal Adams, which they kind of squashed. And I think what they're going to do is they're probably going to give Jamal a huge contract to keep him happy and keep him quiet. But there's still these prominent guys in the NFL that have this problem with the Jets. So now, how does Le'Veon Bell handle this behind the scenes? If somebody calls Le'Veon Bell today and says, hey, man, what are the Jets like? What is he really saying? Like, what is if they call Quincy, if they talk, like, what do they think? Like, my thing is all the guys that Jets don't re-sign, which there could be 10, 12 guys that are prominent members of this team, what are they saying on the way out the door, and how much does that hurt or help us? In my opinion, it's probably going to hurt us.
That's exactly where I was saying. That's where I was going. Was if you look at this situation, that's what I said earlier. You got guys on this roster that are having issues already that might not be here going forward. And you brought up the big name that I brought up as well, Le'Veon Bell. Somebody calls Le'Veon Bell, another guy that's around the league, because players do talk. We talk about this multiple times. This is not like you just look at a player and say, hey, we're going to sign you, and they come to your team. No, they talk to other players on the team. That's how Le'Veon Bell got here, because Jamal Adams was talking to him on a daily basis, it seemed like. Stalking him on social media, calling him constantly, texting him constantly. That's how he got him here. If a guy calls Le'Veon Bell and says, hey, should I come there? Do you think Adam Gase will have my numbers together? Le'Veon Bell is going to say no. Hell, you don't even have to call Le'Veon Bell to see that. You can look at the post-game interviews and see the frustration in his face, the lack of usage. You can see how he's being treated here. I mean, look at the articles.
He tweeted out during the Titans-Chiefs game about the running game.
I was just about to say that. The stuff on social media with him as well. The stuff on, not just the tweet out, but remember he responded to a Adam Gase, the presser that he did where he wouldn't even answer questions about him. He retweeted that. Like, you don't have to ask players what's going on here to see that there's an issue and where the issue is. So, yeah, we're going to have issues. And that's why I told you when we started talking about free agency, whether, being on the show or even when we just talk in general, I tell you all the time, listen, we're going to have some problems and we're going to pay the Jets tax. To get guys here, we're going to have to overpay them. We're going to have to, because there's so many things stacked against us. There's so many things outside of just a head coach and stuff, because honestly, for some players, a change of head coach might actually, entice them to come here, because our offense is dead last. So if you're an offensive player looking at our team, you'd be like, this is the worst offense in the league. Why would I go there? Because players look at two things, and we talked about in the past, numbers. They look at the numbers on the contract, but there's a lot of players that look at the numbers that they're going to put up on the field. There's a lot of players that think about legacy first. There are. We've seen that. We've outbid teams before as far as giving offers, and they still go back to whatever organization they come from or other organizations they want to go to because they're better set up to build upon their legacy. So, listen here, man. We're going to pay. And if we want free agents, we need to make sure we target the right free agents. We shouldn't be wildly – to me, when you look at this offseason, the bigger thing for me with Joe Douglas is, does he target the areas and positions of need on this football team, the premium positions, not inside linebacker, not, fullback, not something else that premium positions that really impact today in the NFL. Does he target those positions, and how does he adequately fill them? Does he wildly overspend where he just has to go like way, way beyond, or does he overspend just enough to get the guy here? That's what I want to see. Who does he fill that with? Does he fill it with adequate guys, or does he go the McCagnon route and just overpay bums to come in? So that's my thing with Joe Douglas. But I'm telling you right now, we gonna have to pay a bit. I'm already ready for it.
Yeah, it's to me, this is fascinating because, the offseason, like I said, all last year, a lot of these guys were all role models. They didn't say a bad thing because you're like, you know what? They're getting ready to hit free agency. They are not going to, they're not going to, crap where they work. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to be a role model until I'm officially a free agent, and then the mouths start opening up. And what happens is then it's like, okay, how do you handle Le'Veon Bell? Is he going to be sitting there? Is he going to be like, on the fine line? Some days he's getting traded, some days he's not. Are you going to shop him? And if you shop him and don't get rid of him, how disgruntled will he be? Because now this is year 2 of this. And the thing is, like, as respected as Jamal Adams is, to me, the first move they got to make is give him a new contract and make him happy, because you don't want him disgruntled going into the year, because we already have enough problems. So pay the guy, he's earned his deal, and he could be your number 1 recruiter. He'll be your voice of happiness and recruiting guys in, because my fear is there's going to be significant voices behind him that aren't as happy, that can't wait to get the hell out of here, or are leaving here, are going to mouth off about it. And how do you offset that? And, Joe, you said it. You offset it by overpaying. And to me, this is going to be a problem we don't truly know the perception of Adam Gase in New York because this is his first offseason of everybody dealing with him. And now it's like, okay, who leaves, who goes, how much say does he have, and what guys can we not even attract here? And you talked about it, Joe. It's like the first you look at, where do they play, who's the quarterback? Sam Darnold is a selling point. Young quarterback on the rise, cool. Beautiful area to play. The team is not a winning team, hasn't been to playoffs in far too long, and the coach hasn't won anything, and is a pain in the ass. So if the dollar is equal, do you go here or to a winning team? You're going to a winning team, because why not? You want to win. You want your numbers. If you want to have an offense and you're a running back, you're not coming here because Adam Gase is a platoon guy. He's a feature guy. Fine. If you're a receiver, if you're a receiver that has some kind of diva tendencies, not a big thing with Adam Gase, he gets rid of you. So there's some things you got to really, in terms of the offense, how are you going to attract guys? I mean, drafting guys is easy because you have no choice. They have to come here, but there's still a huge learning curve and stuff like that. But if you want, it is fascinating. This is fascinating, dude. It really is, because there's so many other things. We're not a normal organization. This isn't cut and dry this year. When you had, McCagnon was kind of like a goofball, didn't really know, but you had Todd Bowles, who, you know what, he was respected at least. He may not have been a winning coach, and there's some questions about him. People actually respected him. With Adam Gase, it's either you love him or you hate him, it seems like, and a lot of guys are not fans of him. Yeah. So now it's you got to overcome that. You got to overcome a losing organization that hasn't won anything in a media fire pit with an angry fan base. It's not ideal, dude. And if you're a free agent, and like I said, dollars are even, you're not coming here, then you got to overpay. And that's up to Joe Douglas to have a limit and say just say Thuney. Somebody's prime elite lineman. If you're going to get $13 million to go to the Cowboys or the Titans or something like that, how much to go to Jets? It could be $15 million. You may have to pay $2 million in the Jets tax you talked about just to get this guy.
Exactly. And I'm prepared for that. That's what look, we got the money. We put ourselves in a situation. I got this saying, losers lose. When you make bad decisions and you consistently make bad decisions, losers will lose at various spots, not just on the field, but off the field as well. When you don't target areas, premium positions on your football team when you don't draft well, and then you pacify not drafting well by overspending free agency on various often non-premium positions, you're going to look like how we look. You know,
or bad contracts in general.
Listen, I don't even Tremaine Johnson. I can't wait to get his ass out of here. I can't wait to get so many guys out of here. It's crazy, but losers are going to lose. So we're going to pay for that. Like you said, Joe Thuney is one of the guys I want us to target. Yeah, we probably going to have to pay him that $14 million, maybe $15 million stuff. We're going to have to do that to get these guys here. Yep. We're going to have to overpay because even programs that aren't winning but have brought in staff, that have respect, like McCarthy, just went to. There's going to be players that are going to be attracted to what he's going to do over there because he's brought in the staff. He's a guy that's won in this league before. He comes in with a certain cachet, a certain resume, where he's going to have guys in that locker room attention. They're going to say, okay, here's a guy that's been there, he's done it, and he can step in there and be the sheriff. I've been where you want to be. I've done what you want to do. If you're not willing to get on my ship, then you can get your ass out of here. He can command that respect. A lot of players are looking at this situation like Adam Gase cannot command that respect at all. He's still struggling to really figure out how to win and how to get things right in the NFL his damn self. And we saw that this year. So we're going to see what happens, man. Another question I have with Joe Douglas is how much say does he have in the moves as far as personnel in free agency? I want to see how he deals with two things. One is our ownership. Are they going to force him into making a splash signing? Does he really have as much say as we believe he should have? If Woody or, his brother come in there and say, hey, you need to sign, such and such to however big type of deal, can he look at them and go, come on now, we need to address this area and keep it moving? Can he do that? Also, what about Adam Gase? Does Gase have more say, or just as much say as we honestly think he does, just like he did last season where he just kind of took over? Will he be able to do that with Douglas in the room? So those are big questions that I have, man.
Yeah, no, there's a litany of questions, for the Jets, their presentation. Can they sell this organization? Can they sell this program? And what will it take to land the right free agents? And if you can't get them, what's your plan B? What's your plan C? And you can't just say, oh, we'll just draft guys. Listen, we don't have 30 draft picks. The Miami Dolphins do. Yeah. We don't. You know what I mean? Like, we're not in a premium position to just get, he has to do a lot with the little in certain scenarios where you don't have a lot of draft picks and you have cap space, but you have cap space and you have significant holes at premium positions. And that's the problem. Like, the same, I was thinking about, Joe, we're having the same conversation this year that we had last year about the same goddamn positions. Exactly. You think about this. Every year we do this show. Oh, we got to get a number one corner. We need a number one receiver. We need a left tackle. We need a pass rusher. Dude, the same thing every freaking year. It's crazy. You think about it.
It's like Groundhog's Day. Yeah, it is. It's like Groundhog's Day. You just wait. Is this the same damn day? Didn't it just happen yesterday? Is this yesterday? What day is it? You know what I'm saying? Is this Tuesday? Am I on the show? Is this yesterday, last week's show? What is it? Last year's? What show is this? Listen, this is the same damn thing we have the same conversation. I was going to say you kind of hit the nail on the head there, but I think one of the big things he's going to have to sell players on when they come here, outside of presentation, is direction. We need to let these players know that we have a direction because you know what? Where are we, Tyson? Are we still in the rebuild? Wasn't that supposed to be over? Didn't we start that rebuild 5 years ago? Yo, I got a question. What the hell are we building? What we've seen teams that were worse than us when we started our rebuild, better than us way faster, and got over their rebuild before we even were able to gather pieces to even consider that we were in a rebuild or not. There are so many teams that were worse than us that are better than us now. How did that happen? Yeah, I don't like to give them shout-outs, but you got it. They're right there.
It is what
Buffalo,
it is.
There's various other teams. So where are we at? Are we still in the fog? What is going on around here? Are we still in the mist? What is happening? Are we in this rebuild or not? So we have to sell them on a direction, man. Because if we don't, then, I don't know where we're going to be with some of these guys.
Yeah, this is just the more you think about it, because as the season winds down, you're like, all right, Super Bowl's coming up, and then we're going to be fast and furious in the free agency, and I'm like, wow, there are so many similarities from this year to last year. Like, there's so many because we didn't address half our holes that we should have. So it's like we went through another $100 million, another premium draft pick, and we don't have nothing to show for it other than a lot of could-haves and should-haves and a new general manager. It's crazy. And now we have to have all this blind faith in Joe Douglas, who, listen, he has a top-level front office staff. He hired all the right guys. The resumes are ridiculous. It's probably the best front office, terms of personnel guys we've had in a long time. These guys are all reputable guys. Phil Savage and all. It's great. But it's like, that's all fine and dandy. But we got to see results. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to see these results because you have Sam Darnold on his rookie contract still. You have all these. It's just, and you keep thinking about it. I'm like, all right. And I went at it today on Twitter with somebody who was telling me that I'm way too negative, and the team. Listen to this. The team can address all their holes this year. And I'm like, where? But how? What magic wand? So then I may have been a little snarky. I may have asked him if he was drinking during lunch, which is probably not appropriate. I'm like, you got to be out of your mind. I may have. I'm like, you got to be out of your mind. I'm like, we have so many holes. Like, you arguably need 3 linemen. You need, 2 receivers, 2 corners, a pass rusher. You need all these things. And we're going to address all of them this year with no problem. Dude, he's acting like it was no problem. I'm like, I'll be happy if we address half of them. And that's kind of realistic at this point.
Yeah, it's dude, I'm the man of the people. I stand for the people. I love every fan the same. I understand we all bleed green. This is a tough place. We win together, we lose together, we cry. we ride together, we cry together. It is what it is. But if you think that we're going to address all the holes on this football team, you got to be smoking crack. There's no way that you could possibly think that we have enough capital to address the issues that we have here. Just a couple of things that you named, just linemen, pass rusher. We didn't even talk about wide receiver. We didn't even talk about, say we move on from Le'Veon Bell, now you need running backs. There are so many things that are coming up, and I keep telling people this constantly, is that, hey, while we're trying to acquire all the things that we should have been acquiring before we drafted Sam so that the table would be set, I used to talk about that all the time. If you want a young quarterback to eat, the table's got to be ready. Okay, so all these things that we should have already had in place, we should have already had a decent line to put in front of Sam before we drafted him, right? We didn't have those things. So now we're trying to acquire, we're scrambling to get all these things after the fact of him being here. That clock is ticking on his deal, dude. That clock is ticking. So what happens by the time that you finally somewhat acquire these things? Now it's going to be time to pay him. He ain't taking no hometown discount, dog.
Nope.
He ain't taking no hometown discount, my
Neither
brother.
Jamal Adams.
Guess what? Yeah, you're right. Neither is he. He going to want to get money or he going to get on. And then you're going to have to find some way to scramble and either franchise or do something crazy to keep him where you're going to have to really spin in. So we got to figure it out, man. And that's a big thing about Joe Douglas. And you talked about all the other personnel guys he brought in, Phil Savage, guys he got in the scouting department as well. Listen, he's a guy that's known for drafting. Drafting is going to be huge here. How he works that draft board, I know we're talking about free agency, but we're going to spin whatever we got to spin there. But how he worked that draft board is going to be just as important or more important to our football team than anything else because his ability to move down or move up or whatever to acquire things is going to be huge for us. If he moves down and acquires more picks somehow and then can use that's more holes that he can fill with that capital. That's going to go a long way for us. I swear, I know we literally just talked about this last year before the draft. We were saying, hey, well, at least I was saying, hey, we need to move down because we need to acquire more picks so we can, fill more positions that we have here of need. We got offensive line issues, various issues everywhere else. Joe Douglas needs to look at that approach and try to figure things out. And I know it's going to be tough, especially when we're sitting at 11 right now, I think, 10 or 11, something like that. And so we've got to figure that out, and that's going to be big on him to get us some talent in here, figure out how to draft the guys, figure out guys, especially in those mid rounds, figure out how to get quality production guys from those mid rounds and put together a solid team that's going to be capable to go out there and make pushes.
Yeah, and the other position that we're not even talking about is to me, I'm kind of hoping that Jordan Jenkins is re-signed, but smartly he's going to free agency and he's going to test the market. We could be looking for two outside linebackers as well, because none of them are under contract. Yeah. None of our starters. I mean, it's like, dude, like, do you understand? Like, I don't think people understand. If I hear one more time, just draft the guys. We don't have 22 draft picks. You can't just cut everybody and just draft everybody. That's not how it works. I mean, in theory, it'd be great, but we're not that good. We don't have 22 draft picks. I mean, like, just draft them. Okay. It's just crazy, man. It'll make you sick to think about it.
It does, and that's why I can't continue to tell people, and I told people coming into this offseason, we say it all the time on the show, it's going to take more than 1 year to fix the issue that we have.
Yep.
It is. We don't have enough.
No doubt.
We don't have enough to account for the ineptitude of Mike Maccagnan. That's literally what the issues are here. It's the ineptitude of Mike Maccagnan. All the people that supported him through his awful-ass drafts and his bad, deals as far as in free agency, all that stuff. We don't have enough capital in one season to overcome the ineptitude of that garbage-ass general manager. It took him years to ruin the football team under him. It's going to take us a couple of years to come from up under that.
Well, he was a combo platter. Him and Idzik, they took their turn in the organization. I mean, Maccagnan had some positives. Idzik had next to none.
You're right, but
back-to-back terrible general managers.
Yeah, but Maccagnan had the length of years that he was here, and then on top of that, all the cash that he had, and then all the drafts that he had.
$200 million.
Was trash.
It
was $200 million, almost $300 million he had. I mean, Idzik was garbage. He was a terrible-ass general manager. He was terrible. I'm not pacifying him at all. That guy was terrible. He should have never been hired here. But let me tell you something. Maccagnan, for the years that he was here and what he did and his horrific drafting, when you look at some of those drafts where a year out, where he was cutting guys a year after he would draft them, like completely off the roster.
We cut guys the same year. Look at Ty Polite.
Yeah. I mean, just tough stuff. I mean, drafting guys in the second round like Christian Hackenberg, who never played, like, just crazy, man. Just crazy stuff, the stuff that we see. I mean, but it's going to take us a bit of time to come from under that.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll go to the call, 929-477-2651. You want to talk Super Bowl, you want to talk free agency, we do all that. The draft stuff we kind of got to save because, listen, it's hard to talk draft until you know what free agents we actually have. I mean, like we get the new thing now is we always mock drafts, like tweet to us, like, oh, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, tell me who we signed first. Like, who do we keep? Yeah. Who do we get? Who do we kick out? Like, there's so many things that happen before the draft. It's hard to talk draft. So, free agency we can start with, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to Dan in Howard Beach. Dan, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, fellas? What's going on?
Dude, you've completely transformed. You were the most positive Jets fan. You used to give me and Joe a hard time for being negative and angry, and all I do is look at your Twitter account, and all you are is doom and gloom now, man. What happened to you?
Joe from Long Beach happened to me. That's what happened. A dose of reality happened to me. And he opened my eyes. He gave me Graves' disease. Seeing the literalness of this damn Jets team. Listen, before I even get into that, I just want to say thank you, boys, for just being there. Because something like that happened on Sunday, sorry to revisit it, but it just gives you like a bigger appreciation of life. Even the little things of life. Even like something like on the Tuesday night, just to converse with you guys and just listening to your callers, it makes me feel that much more alive sometimes. Even the little things, and it's unfortunate what happened with Kobe, and my condolences to him and all the people that perished on the helicopter flight. So just to start off with that, I thank you boys for something like this, and I'm grateful for that. So you guys are heart and soul, man. I love conversing with you guys.
Yeah, and man, I want to thank you, for calling in, man. It's always great to talk to you, and like you said, rest in peace to Kobe. We're all trying to get through it, but man, just sitting here talking with you and Tyson as well is really helping me through it. So, but I want to talk to you about this team, man. Let's not, I don't want to cry here. I'm gonna keep it straight.
No worries.
I don't want you to tell me.
I'm already tearing. I already got my handkerchief ready. You're gonna put me on blast again, aren't you?
Listen,
I got my puffs.
We got to talk about these Jets, man. Listen, so how hard do you think it's going to be for Joe Douglas to sell free agents on this franchise and where we're going?
So glad you brought that up. One thing, and first things first, you have to sell that you give a crap about the offensive line and Sam Darnold. Because, again, we've waited so long for Sam Darnold, and we have given him absolutely nothing to protect him. Yes, we gave him Le'Veon. Yes, we have, like, some weapons here and there, whatever, some highlights got up, like Robbie and Herndon and the other tight end that fell through. Sure, he did what he could with the weapons that he had. But this time around, the Jets have to take a page out of what Mangini and Tannenbaum did. Draft offensive linemen. Sign offensive linemen. Not second-tier offensive linemen. I mean, you got to go out and get Scherf. You got to get Conklin. I don't care if you break the bank. You have to get – this is the time right now. Forget about edge rusher, all that. We all came to the conclusion that this is going to be a process. First step of the process, solidify that offensive line. We've done that, once in over 50 years? And look at the 80s. We had Cadigan, Sweeney, all these guys, O'Brien getting destroyed. Then in the 90s, we never, ever looked at the offensive line until Tannenbaum came. Look at what they did. And then Rex came in, drafted Sanchez. First 2 years, he was in the perfect spot. Ground and pound. You could do whatever you want with a solidified offensive line. Same thing the Rams. The Rams did that first year with McVay. They went out, they got Whitworth. They got the other guy, too. I mean, you need to spend money on that offensive line. That's how you attract free agents for years to come. You say, whoa, you know what? These guys are competitive. Darnold got some skill, and it's not based on potential anymore. He's going to show you what he can do when you can actually protect him. And that's what's lacking.
But listen, it's easy to say just spend the money, but the question is, will players be turned off by the fact that Adam Gase is the coach? And will guys like Le'Veon Bell or Quincy or Assembly or anybody else say, listen, man, don't go there. That locker room's a mess or the coach is a mess? Is that a concern for
Tyson,
you?
I hear you. Money talks. Look at C.J. Mosley. C.J. Mosley should have never signed with us, but the money was just too good to turn down. And again, you know what? I don't want to over-glorify what I'm about to say because I don't even believe it. But that whole 6-2 run, that's a sell. That's a sell to players. That's a sell. I don't believe it. I think it's trash because, I don't look at the 6-2. I look at the 0-2. Oh, so do I. I look at the 0-2 teams that we lost to the Bengals and that Dolphin team. I look at that more than I look at the 6-2. But you know what? Not for nothing. Let's give just an ounce of credit to Joe Douglas. Based on even the thing was a flop. What I'm about to say, getting what's that?
Ryan Khalil? What are we giving Joe Douglas credit for? Ryan Khalil?
No. I'm just looking at the persuasion. Just maybe the guy has like a gift of gab or something. Maybe when like a free agency comes along, he can persuade him. Because again, you need.
We're going to give
you have to earn it. Of course you do.
He didn't do anything yet. He didn't do anything yet.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is maybe the guy can manipulate. Maybe he's as manipulative as Adam Gase is once he gets the player across from him.
You know what your key word is? The last 2 minutes? All I hear is maybe. That's the problem. I want to hear a definitive, and we don't know that until he spends
We don't know that.
This offseason.
We don't know, but what we have to do is that offensive line. That's first serve. First serve.
Listen, I'm not arguing.
You know what I mean?
We have holes. I think, but the question is, don't you see their first move? To be completely honest with you, their first move being Jamal Adams. You give him a big contract, you make him happy, he becomes the face of your franchise and your number one recruiting tool. Because honestly,
absolutely
I
not.
Go into the season
I don't want that.
If he doesn't have a new contract, you don't want to give him a new contract. He'll be a distraction.
I don't want that.
I think he will be.
Not yet.
Get a new deal. He'll be a distraction. When are you going to give it to him? He's got a all-pro year. He's all-pro.
Is he protecting Sam? I mean, we've had all-pro safety. We've had Eric McMillan. We had Revis at corner. We never had a franchise quarterback.
Sorry,
you know what I mean? We had those big shots. We had John Abraham. We had those guys. I want to see my franchise quarterback, a QB, a position that we have never filled since Namath. We plugged in a Testaverde. We got a Chad Noodle Arm Pennington. We got those guys there. We got a overglorified Mark Sanchez.
Why are you taking shots at Pennington?
I'm taking it.
Damn. That's just wrong.
I'm taking it easy. I'm taking it easy with the money. I'm taking
a shot at John.
Taking it easy.
He's ripping everybody.
I mean, can Jamal throw? If he can throw, then sure, give him the money.
No, but the thing is, listen, you can give Jamal a new contract and sign offensive linemen, but if you don't want to pay him, you don't think he's going to be a distraction in this offseason? If he doesn't get his deal, he has to go into next year with the same contract. I think it's going to be a problem. Like I don't see it. I think they got to get
Tyson. Then call up Dallas and see if they can give if they can give us their left tackle. Give me your left tackle. A left tackle is worth way more than a safety. I love Jamal. Don't get me wrong. I like him. But give me a left tackle.
You're just blowing everything up. You're in full blow-up mode. This is it. This is the Titanic now.
Yeah, man. That Adam Gase, man. I'm renting from him. He's my landlord. I'm Wyatt, right? All of a sudden, a.k.a. Wyatt.
Look, here's the thing is that, look, Ty, I hear you. I hear what you're saying about Adams, and, I would like to see them make an attempt to give him a deal. But I've heard a lot of credible people make arguments that, listen, don't pay him this year and go after and get yourself offensive linemen or address other areas of need. Hell, remember when we were going to trade him? Remember when we were going to trade him? That was literally like a couple weeks ago, and everybody was okay with it because we saw the need in other areas. I'd like to see him stay here. He's like all-pro guy. We drafted him. He's great, but our needs are so great. Like, I could see them either not giving him a deal because I think we still can keep him for I know he's got a 5th-year option after 2020, so that's one. I think we can also franchise it if possible, so we can keep him for the next 2 to 3 years without having to pay him that big money and address other needs of the team. So I could see that being done. I could see them not paying him and just addressing other spots. And if he wants to be an issue, then them either trading him or just dealing with, just him talking or him being upset or angry in the media. Isn't that what you were trying to say, Dan?
Exactly. I mean, if he becomes a distraction, you could get like a Ramsey deal. You know what I mean? But I don't see him being a distraction as of right now. If you can showcase to him that you're building your offensive line, you're seeing that he knows that if the team does good, his value skyrockets up. And he could be a distraction maybe in 2021.
His value can't be any higher than it is right now. He's an all-pro safety. He's a star in the league, dude. His value can't be any higher. He wants to get paid, period.
Man, I hear you, man. But I'm siding with Joe on this one because it's truth. We have more needs that we have to attribute and allocate that money more than Jamal. I'd rather place him on the offensive line and then let the pieces fall where they may. But you got to protect Sam. You may. I don't know what the plans are with these guys. You know what I mean? I mean, again, let's face it. Adam Gase is our head coach. As much as I want to look at this Sunday and say, you know what? Look at Shanahan. Look what he did in the 1 year, going from 4-12 into down this Super Bowl thing. A guy can dream, right? But again, we got Adam Gase here. We don't know what their plans are. We have no idea. And Joe Douglas isn't even tipping his hand. He doesn't. Yeah. That's another thing. We don't even know anything about Joe Douglas. Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is I know Ty is saying, hey, you can sign offensive linemen, you can also sign Adams, but can you sign offensive linemen? 3 offensive linemen, the wide receiver that we need, possible running back that we need, pass rusher that we need, and corner that we need, and still give Adams that big deal?
Right.
I don't know about that.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Do that, dude. So, yeah, look, like I said, listen, everybody don't tweet me. I am not saying that we shouldn't explore giving Adams a deal. I think he should be a Jet. I'd love to see him be a Jet for the rest of his career. But I will acknowledge arguments against doing that for the betterment of the rest of the team.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with the whole thing, but you cannot go into this off-season closed-minded and say, no, Jamal Adams is off limits. Nope. Can't do that.
Exactly.
No, Joe Douglas hit it off. He said, look, they call, I pick up. Think about this. There's like some groundbreaking things as well. The guy's making deals with the Pats, making deals with the Giants. I know it's like too early to tell, but he doesn't care. He just wants to make the team better. Obviously, he got that waste of a wide receiver from the Pats. His time is gone.
He made wait. He made a trade with the Patriots for a guy that was going to get cut. But let's just make sure we're giving him the guy was going to get cut. We made a trade, and we actually gave the Patriots a pick for him.
When's the last time we dealt with the Pats, Tyson? When's the last time we dealt with the Pats?
The guy was going to get cut, and we gave up the guy.
No. You're missing the point on that. You're missing the point, Tyson. It's him calling the Pats organization to say, I don't care what history you guys got here.
They're probably laughing. No, it's not. Like, wait, you want to give us a pick for a guy we're going to trade? I'll give him credit for the Leonard Williams.
Listen.
The Leonard Williams trade, the Leonard Williams one I'll give him credit for because they completely fleeced the clueless Dave Gettleman. That one I'll give him credit for. But if you want to give him an accolade for the Patriots trade, my goodness.
Yeah, that
it wasn't the player. It's the whole precedent of the whole thing. It's just showcasing that the guy has connections. He does. There's nothing that impedes it.
We're going to set the bar so low. Oh, Jesus Christ. The bar is so low. We're now going to give him credit.
The bar is always low with us.
That's too low. How is that connection? They literally just traded. They traded Thomas. They traded Demaryius Thomas because they didn't care. They knew he wasn't good enough. And it was like, oh, you're going to give us a 6th-round pick for a guy we're going to cut anyway? Yeah, sure. That's not connection.
Oh, my God, man.
They don't. I hope the Patriots are willing to trade a player to you. That means they're not afraid of you having him. That's exactly. They're not afraid of him even being in division. So no, I'm all about the jogging, but you got to take those off, man. Come on, see what's going on out here. let me give you another dose. If you want to give anything to Joe Douglas that shines light on how good he could possibly be as a general manager here, it's that Leonard Williams trade. Because that guy was doing nothing here, and he's doing nothing over there either, baby. And guess what? We about to get a third rounder when they re-sign him, and they stuck with him. You know, there's a full.
So the laughs cancel out then. So the laughs cancel out.
Dan, thanks for calling.
Let me tell you, man. No, I thank you guys a lot, man. Have a great show, and let's go Jets, baby.
Yeah, let's go Jets.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Let's go Jets.
Yeah. There's a sucker born every day, and his name is Gettleman. I'm telling you, he took advantage of Gettleman in that one. Absolutely did. But that Patriots deal, come on now. We can't give him all that. And then the Ryan Khalil stuff, that didn't work very well either.
Yeah, I mean, like to say you got to give Joe Douglas credit, I'm giving him an incomplete. He's got a lot to prove this offseason. I mean, he's got a lot to prove. Draft, free agency, keeping a hold of, just keeping guys, getting rid of guys, and how he handles Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he's got a lot to prove, man. To give him credit is nuts at this point. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot he's got to do. We're going to see how he handles stuff. Like you said, the Le'Veon Bell, what he's going to do there, how he handles Jamal Adams as well, what he does with the roster, how he shakes it up. A lot is going to be on his shoulders, and we'll see if he delivers on being this guy that everyone touts him as being. Again, a big part of that is going to be the draft for me. What does he do? Does he get value in mid-rounds? Does he make dumbass trades like McCagnon used to do in mid-rounds and just give up value and then also get fleeced in those trades as well? What does he do different that our last general manager, couldn't get the job done with? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and don't lead the league in what ifs or could haves and should haves and we almost did. Like, if I hear that this offseason, I'm just going to lose it because I can't take any more of that. So we're going to go to Mr. NYSF Magazine, who's now like the XFL spokesperson at this point. I mean, I think he's leaving the NFL. I think he's probably all XFL now. So we're going to go to Jay. What's up, man?
Guys, let me ask you a question. This is the question of the night. Who do you think has an easier job of selling this offseason? Do you think that Joe Douglas has an easier job of selling the future of the New York Jets to an incoming free agent? Or do you think that the Jets ticket office has an easier job of selling tickets to Jets fans? I I don't know which job is easier. I think that they both have the hardest job on the planet because it's the same problem on both sides. You can't sell a vision of what the future is of this organization to anybody. There is nothing.
Nope.
I mean, honestly, like,
nope.
You guys hit it on the head. There's nothing here. There's nothing. If Sam Darnold was not on the New York Jets right now, there would be zero hope for the future of this franchise. There's nothing. And even Jamal Adams I was just at the Pro Bowl game. It was awesome seeing Jamal Adams there for the second year in a row. He's an All-Pro. And the talk is that we need to get rid of him. You guys are just talking about that. And I don't necessarily disagree with it, even though I don't want to trade him. You don't want to trade the one good player you have on your team, really. But that's the talk is we have so many damn holes on this team. We have a terrible head coach. And we don't even know what anything is across the roster. And, yeah, we went 7-9 by some miracle. But, like, dude, this team, I just... That's why every week I'm just so frustrated and fed up with it. I have no clue what this team is. Do you know what an Adam Gase offense is? I don't.
But you start with Jamal. You're starting with Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is the face of the franchise, the most popular player on the team. He could be your number one recruiting tool, but he's due for a new contract. That's just it's the first year you can negotiate a new deal with him, and he's coming in off an all-pro season. After a trade deadline where you completely pissed him off, can the New York Jets go into this season with Jamal not getting a new deal? And my answer is no. I think he'll be pissed. I think he'll be completely disgruntled and will not be happy and could even ask for a trade. Like, can you see that happening? I mean, that has to be the primary issue already.
Well, I think there's a decent chance. He hasn't hinted at this yet, but I think there's a decent chance that if he doesn't get a new contract, does he even show up to training camp? I mean, he hasn't said anything that he may hold out, but he's eligible for an extension at this point, and he went from being a Pro Bowler to Pro Bowl MVP to an All-Pro in back-to-back years. That man deserves to be paid. He deserves to be paid. I mean, he will get paid somewhere else if not here. So if he's a big enough pain in the ass and he holds out and the Jets don't want a distraction around and they have so many damn holes and they feel like that they can then get some assets for him, I could definitely see Jamal Adams getting traded this offseason. They're going to trade Le'Veon Bell, and they're going to lose Robbie Anderson, and they're going to probably lose Neville Hewitt and Jordan Jenkins and all these guys. And then what do you have? I mean, you have nothing. Zero. You have Sam Darnold, no offensive line, no pass rusher, no cornerback. You have nothing. And then you lose Le'Veon. You have no running back. You have no wide receivers. You have no cornerbacks. You have nothing. So I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I hate to be so damn negative, but man, I would trade. We went 7-9, and the Dolphins went. I would trade right now for the Dolphins situation. They don't have a quarterback, but they have a ton of draft picks. They have a ton of money. They have what looks to be a good head coach. I mean, we have the worst head coach in the division, if not football. We have. Can someone tell me? I saw it on Twitter. I don't know what the answer is. Can somebody explain to me what an Adam Gase offense is? I don't know. What is an Adam Gase? I know. What is it?
Yeah.
Tell me. Joe, I want to hear it.
Yeah, Jay, first off, I want to thank you for calling in. Adam Gase offense is a bottom-feeding offense that is unbalanced. I told you guys that when we first signed him. That's literally what I said. It's a bottom-feeding offense that is unbalanced, that is not fit for the NFL. We saw it all throughout his time with the Dolphins. We're seeing it here, how we're literally throwing the ball all over the place. We completely neglect the run at times, even when we play teams that can't stop the run. Go away from it. That's what we're seeing here. And that's going to be a big part going in free agency as well when you look at offensive players that are looking, for teams to go to. They're going to look at us and be like, why the hell would I go there? This team is
exactly.
This team is not in the current state of the NFL at all offensively. You have the worst offense in the league statistically. This is crazy. So I'm wondering. Go ahead.
Anthony Barr signed with us. He took the Jets tag. Yeah. He signed with us. Woke up the next morning. He felt sick and went back to. He reneged on it and went back to Minnesota for less money. And that was last year when there was all this hope and optimism when we had all these guys and we had. It was the first year with Adam Gase, and we were being sold about how great the future was. Well, how'd that turn out, dude? We're in year 2. I mean, so we have Joe Douglas and that's all fine and great, but before we start throwing Super Bowl parade plans and everything like that, because we're so lucky to have Joe Douglas, let's see him operate in off-season first. Exactly as Tyson said before, it's all ifs and maybes.
Yeah.
We don't have any clue what the future of this organization is. We have no clue about Joe Douglas. We have every bit of a clue of exactly what Adam Gase is, and if you're not going to, anybody that's not turning a blind eye and looking through green goggles knows exactly what Adam Gase is at this point. I mean, it drives me crazy when I see people on social media, oh, we were only 2 games out of a playoff spot. Think about how much better we'll be next year when we have an offensive line. Well, have we signed an offensive lineman yet? Has an offensive lineman come here? Have we drafted an offentive lineman yet? It's like if you close your eyes and you dream hard enough, the roster will just magically fill up. We don't have nearly enough draft picks, especially not premium draft picks, and money to go ahead and fill the 30 spots that are going to be open on this roster. It's insane.
Yeah.
On top of which we have a terrible head coach.
Yeah, and you're completely right, Jay. And I think that's going to be, like, when we're talking about it constantly, this is going to be a big test for Joe Douglas. It's how he handles the offseason, what he does, how he feels, a lot of these positions of need that we have on this football team. And that leads me, my question for you, man, is how concerned are you that he may have to wildly overpay for just to get those guys to come in here, some of the elite guys, or maybe even some of these bottom-tier guys to just get a look? We're going to have to overpay them. How concerned are you that we're going to have to break the bank for some of these dudes?
I'm not concerned because I know what's going to happen. I don't concern myself with things that are definitely happening. That's exactly what's going to happen. And the question is, how much are we going to have to overpay? Because we overpaid to get Mosley. But you're talking about, like, would a guy take $14 million to play for... Yeah. Would a guy take $14 million
against ourselves?
Would a guy take $14 million to play for Carolina and Matt Rule as opposed to taking 17 from the Jets? Dude, $3 million. I would take 14 to go elsewhere and take 17 here. You might have to pay 19. Man, it's going to be the amount of money you would have to overpay to get a player that's being recruited by a team that has a legitimate future and hope would be astronomical at this point. It's like, because, dude, like what you guys were talking about earlier on in the night, the Adam Gase, are you going to have to guarantee? How could you guarantee to a player that Adam Gase is going to be here next, 3 more years? You can't. If you go 3-13, you're going to guarantee, don't worry, Adam Gase will be back. Like, that's some kind of selling point, dude. There's absolutely no way. Adam Gase right now is on a 1-year deal, and he better produce.
Yeah, but if you're a free agent though. Like just say Sammy Watkins, for example. If you're a free agent and you're getting courted by the Jets, you say, okay, listen, the money is somewhere in the ballpark of what I want. Sam Darnold's cool, but I want to know what I'm getting myself into in terms of an offense for the next 3 years. They want some kind of stability, some kind of notion of what's going on. So you got to give them some kind of assurance, no?
Ty, look at what Adam Gase. An offensive player wants assurances that the guy who coached the number 32 ranked offense in football is going to be back for 3 years. That's a guarantee that he's not going to be here. Maybe a guy wants to sign a 4-year deal, hoping that they'll just have to suffer through a year of Gase like us poor Jets fans, and then hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel because they're going to fire his ass after 1 year, and you still have 3 years left on that deal to actually perform here. Because I'm telling you, man, there is nobody in this planet besides maybe like Alshon Jeffrey, who seems to love the guy, that is going to come here because Adam Gase is going to be around for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 50 years, whatever you're going to promise him. I mean, dude, that guy, who likes him? You're going to ask around the league ask Le'Veon Bell, Jarvis Landry, Kenyon, who are you going to ask? You're going to go around the league and ask some guy that swears by Adam Gase? Who is that, Peyton Manning? Maybe we can get him out of retirement.
Yeah, no, it's this free agency is going to be a mess. But Jack, here's something more important. What's going on with the XFL, man? You're like a new spokesperson for them.
I am. I love my people at the XFL, man. That's look, those guys, they're very realistic with what they're with what they're doing over there. I mean, it's minor league football. It's not competition for the NFL. It's not going heads up against the NFL or anything like that. What they're doing is they're providing a family-friendly atmosphere. They're going to they hear the frustration of NFL fans, cost of attending games and things of that nature. The crappy game day atmosphere. It's what it's evolved to and everything. And they're trying to Obviously, the product on the field is not going to be at NFL level, but a family of four can go to the game for $80, 4 tickets, $20 a piece. Sit in the lower level, have a good time. I mean, the same way that people like to go to minor league baseball games, and I have a feeling that the atmosphere is going to be similar. They're going to do all kinds of fun promotions and stuff like that, and give you a reason to come out to MetLife Stadium for what's an affordable price. I bought in. I got some season tickets. I got 2 season tickets in the lower level in the 6th row. It cost me $125 a ticket. So 2 tickets was $250. That's for 5 games. So it's pretty cool. And then we're going to give those tickets away because I actually have credentials. I'll be on the field shooting photos and all that stuff. We're going to give them some coverage in the magazine and work with them. And I'm really looking forward to it, man. It's a 10-game thing, and there's 8 teams, and they got some local players all across the board. I know Matt McGloin from Penn State is the Guardians quarterback. They got Kevin Gilbride as the head coach, and I know Ty, you got a friend that's on the DC team, so that's pretty cool. And that's going to be, I guess, the Guardians'
TJ Barnes,
rival.
The former Jet, I think, is on it too. TJ Barnes.
Yep. TJ Barnes is on the team, and there's a couple Jets sprinkled throughout the league. A couple other former Jets, but it's going to be fun. I mean, it's football, so anytime I'll watch an Arena League game, I'll watch a CFL game, I'll watch football. I just like watching football, so I'm looking forward.
We watched the CFL team all this year.
We did, man. It's so funny because you think the guys that McTagnon and Idzik drafted, they're littered all over those leagues, man. I mean, the funny part is Christian Hackenberg couldn't even cut it in those leagues, man. So it's like, man, I mean, it's crazy. But I'm looking forward to it, man. There's a lot of coverage on the Guardians. Kev was fortunate enough to interview the Guardians team president, Janet Dutch, who was the former head of all the fan engagement, all that stuff, marketing and everything for the Rangers and the Knicks previously. So she's no slouch. I mean, she definitely knows what she's doing. They have a great professional crew putting it together. So I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be cool.
Better get me a T-shirt or something. What's the best way to get more information on all the things you're doing with the Guardians?
Okay, so we are going to print this weekend on the magazine, and this is going to be the first issue ever of NYSF or NYJF or any magazine we've ever produced that does not have a New York Jets player on the cover. We have the Guardians on the cover of this one, and the Jets have been replaced. So they'll get back on there, but for right now, we like the story. It's so there's going to be information in there of how to purchase tickets. We have a code NYSF for discounted tickets. Anybody, and we actually are going to be doing a huge tailgate with our friends from Taft Reynolds and Gotham City Crew. We're all going to join up and set up a big tailgate at the opener. So I'm going to put up a graphic for that later on tonight. If people want to join us, food, drinks, everything's included. It's going to be really cool.
As always, Jake, thanks for calling in, man. We definitely appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Joe, the really cool thing about the XFL, too, there's a lot of former players there, but it's some interesting names. Like, the one that stuck out to me, well, there's 2 of them, actually, that stuck out to me, was Coney Ely, who played for the Jets, had a big year in sacks. We all wanted him to get re-signed, and nobody signed him, which means he must have had some kind of problems in the locker room or something, because he had too much talent to not come back. And the other one really shocked me was Marquette King, the punter from the Raiders, the guy that I loved him, dude, as a punter. And he's on, dude, he plays in the XFL now. Like, he must be a pain in the ass, too. Something. Gotta be something.
Okay, well, I don't know about, what's going on in those locker rooms with those guys as far as, Marquette King and stuff like that. But I want to thank Jay for calling in. It's always great to talk to him, and I'm glad that he's, just continuing his love of football regardless of whether it be with the league. But for me, that's what I get out of it. I'm not a big XFL guy, all respect to them, but I'm just glad that players can go, on whatever level, that is an option to them and continue their love of football and continue to play and have a good time.
Yeah, and the XFL is doing a phenomenal job of promoting it. I follow the Guardians because they're the local team here, and they do all kinds of promo videos and behind-the-scenes access of practice, and their coverage is excellent. So hopefully it pans out. And it's football, man. I'm the same way as Jay, man. If it's a lazy Sunday afternoon in the wintertime, I'll watch football. I don't care who it is. So nothing but the best of luck to them. A lot of former Jets in there. Trey McBride's in there. There's a bunch of guys. So we'll see what happens. We're going to go to Mike in Florida. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Mike from New York Sports MC. I know, Tyson, we spoke a little bit through the comment section about my new Jets channel that I had started over there. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, man. How you doing? How's your channel going?
It's going all right. I'd love to have some people come over and check it out. If you guys haven't, I'd love to, obviously get you guys feedback. Obviously, as a new channel, love to hear what other people think about how I'm doing so far.
YouTube is brutal, man. YouTube is a brutal. YouTube is a brutal platform, man. People, they don't pull no punches over there, man. They are just lions.
Well, hey, man, look, it's a dog-eat-dog world there on YouTube, man. I always tell people, they're going to let you know. They're going to let you know if they like you. Yeah. They're going to let you know if they don't, and they don't care. It's not even always about even what you're saying. They'll look at you and say, hey, I don't like your hairline. Why don't you go get a better barber and all this other stuff? It can get crazy over there. I'm just letting you know.
Well, hey, I'm bald, so I don't have to worry about the hairline jokes. But, to get into it here, I know you guys were listening to you guys here, and you were kind of talking about this upcoming off season and how tough it's going to be to pitch some of these free agents, and what do we do kind of to get these free agents to want to buy into what our future is here with the Jets. And I think the one way you do that is by showing that you're willing to pay your own. I think that's going to be a huge part. Like, you look at Robbie Anderson, yeah, he was undrafted, and we gave him a shot, but he's shown that he's worth giving that extension to. Even Jamal Adams, you have to show that you're willing to pay your guys. When was the last time we paid somebody that we brought up and we developed? What was it, Muhammad Wilkerson? And then we got rid of him, 2 years in and 1 year in? We got to show that we're willing to keep some of these guys, because who wants to come if you're not even going to keep your own?
Yeah, and I want to thank you for calling in. Look, I hear what you're saying. You definitely want to show the rest of the league that you can pay your own. But, I mean, when you look at the situation, these two situations with Robbie's a solid wide receiver, but he's not an elite number one. So you're going to be overpaying for him in free agency. He wants number one money. That's not what he is. You look at Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is a great player. We all know that. He's one of the better safeties in the league. But he doesn't play a premium position. He doesn't. He's a safety. So when you talk about paying your own, that could be a complete hindrance to building out the rest of the team, because what good is Robbie Anderson if Sam Darnold is running for his life or getting hit all the time? Because we don't have anybody that can block. How is that going to help us? So that's where I think the argument comes into, and again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't look to give Adams a deal, but, man, if you're telling me that I can get a left tackle or a guard that's going to be here for the next 10 years, versus paying him right now, I'm telling you right now, I will go with that left tackle and that guard. Because I want to make sure that my franchise quarterback, which is something we haven't had for years, is going to be able to flourish.
Absolutely, and that's why I love what Joe Douglas said with the whole Jamal Adams trade rumors and how he got upset. Look, you've got to listen. You've got to listen to everybody. And even if so, the fact that he just picks up that phone and listens is helping him to build these relationships with these other general managers around the league. So when we need something, and he needs to call that general manager of whatever team might be, Dallas, right? Dallas was in on Jamal Adams. He can call back and say, hey, look, remember, I heard you out. Can you at least hear me out? He can pull that because he's starting to build this rapport with these people. If he just nope, click, and hangs up on people, when we will need a trade for somebody, when we finally start making that push, they're going to return the favor. So that's the thing. I mean, you definitely have to listen. And I don't think any player is really off limits besides, obviously franchise quarterbacks. So, absolutely, if you can get rid of Jamal and it shores up that offensive line, without a doubt, you have to at least entertain the offer. But what I have, and the reason I say to pay some of these guys is, looking at this free agency class, I mean, I don't think it's realistic to say that we're going to sign 2 or 3 of these top offensive linemen. Like you said, the pitch to come to New York is going to be tough, and we're going to have to overpay people. So we may only be able to let's hope that we can get one of the top 2 guards. Tooney or Scherf, right? If we get one of those top 2 guards, and then we bring back I would bring back Beachum, because you have to bring back somebody. You can't replace them all in one off season. And then you draft a tackle in the first round. Now you have 3 guys right there that you can go forward with. And then I actually just did a video today on Matt Hennessy and his connections with the team, with his brother being the long snapper on the team. you might be able to get somebody like that in the third round, try to shore up that center position, and now at least you got, 4 to 5 that should be at least capable players. Offensive line headed in the right direction. I know it's a lot of, wishful thinking there, but that's got to be where we put it. I think like edge rusher, I just don't see an answer for that this offseason. We can't fill everything.
Oh, I'm so tired of hearing that, to be honest with you. I'm tired of, it's just, listen, first of all, I agree with you about offensive linemen. I think that we want to get 2 or 3 guys. I think you may get one of the top guys, one, if that, and that's still pushing it. Because I think we're going to have our limit, and I just think it's going to be a tough sell coming to this organization. So then you have to go to your plan B there, which will probably be mid-level guys and the draft, which is fine. If we don't pay Jamal, we're going to have the money to get a pass rusher. We'll have one. And if not, you can get one in the draft. I think at some point, like we just talked about it, if you don't re-sign Jordan Jenkins, you have no outside linebackers on this team. They're all free agents. Who are you bringing back?
Oh, my goodness.
At some point, we're going to have to make the splash and get playmakers. And this team, and then if we don't re-sign Jamal Adams, like people say trade Jamal Adams, the guy had 6 sacks. I mean, you don't want Jenkins back, who had, 7 sacks? You don't want Jamal back. He had 6. Where the hell are the sacks coming from? The air? I mean, Greg Williams can only do so much. At some point, you got to get the playmakers in here.
No, Tyson, and I agree with you. I actually have, in my videos, I have them bringing back Jenkins. I think Jenkins is a great player. If you had that elite edge, that would make Jenkins even better. But what I'm saying is this offseason, where are we going to get the edge from? I don't want one at 11. I'm not paying Dante Fowler or
Nope, me neither.
Shaq Barrett. These guys had one good year. Who's out there do you want? I'm not going to pay any of these guys for 1 year of production when they had Aaron Donald doing double, triple teams.
Why can't we find guys in the mid rounds?
But Joe, not even that. Look at every year. There's these guys out there, and a lot of times, Joe, we talked about them. Let's look at this guy. Let's look at this guy. Robert Quinn, for example. All these guys, they take 1 year deals. How about for once the Jets find that guy, that mid-level guy that's actually a good player, not getting paid? Can we ever do that? We never get those kind of guys.
Well, I'll do you one better. Why can't we draft a guy in the mid-rounds that can come in and give us production as a pass rusher, like every other team in the league does that is constantly in, the push and the why can't we do that? You don't have pass rushers are not only found in the first round. They're not only found at the top of free agency. A lot of these guys are coming in that second, that third round. There's a lot of pass rushers in there, guys that work out. So why can't we do that? Why can't we find a guy in those mid rounds? And if Joe Douglas is the general manager that everyone is, this highly touted guy that everyone's saying he is, he should be able to do that, dude. Because there's guys in this draft that can get accurate in those mid rounds.
Right, and that's what we got to hope for. Obviously, what I meant by I don't think we're going to adjust the edge rush is I don't think we're going to use a premium pick on it, and I don't think we're going to spend big money on it in free agency. That's what I meant by that flashy name to address the edge. Obviously, I would love for them to take a few flyers on a few of these mid-level guys in free agency, and then a few mid-round, maybe a mid-round pick or two. Try to see if we can catch something like that as well. I just didn't think we were going to get a flashy name in the early part of the draft or a big free agent splash.
Yeah, and what's crazy is we're not even talking about the needed corner either. We've talked about offensive line. We've talked about pass rusher. There's a needed corner here. We don't have any damn corners. Tremaine Johnson should be on the first thing smoking out of here. So I'm wondering how we would address that. Is that something you'd rather go to the draft for, or do you think that there's a guy out there that you cover at corner?
I think with this year, the way the class is working, I think it's a position where we're going to have to go at corner. And obviously, I think first things first, you got to bring Poole back. He was great in the slot. We got to bring him back. And then I think maybe even you go after somebody like what's his name, Bradbury, the guy from the Panthers that's free agent.
Yeah, him and Byron Jones.
I would look at him. I think that this year the class, at least I'm still going to do more research on the draft class, but from my initial search, it looks like the class is just not that deep at corner in the draft. Sure, we can try to take a flyer in the mid to late rounds on somebody, but again, I don't see it really being addressed with a top round pick that we can try to expect to come in right away. So I think you got to roll. You try to get somebody in free agency. I actually had them spending money on free agency on the corner, like I said, like a Bradbury or somebody like that. And then you're gonna have to roll with a combination of Mollett or Bless Austin on the other corner with Poole in the slot and hope that I actually have us keeping Tremaine just because we owe him so much money this year. We only paid $3 million to cut him.
Dude, it's addition by subtraction, man. He's got to go. You cannot have that in the locker room where he's just not a good player, overpaid. He's got to go, dude. You say $3 million, I'd rather say the $3 million and just be gone with him. I wouldn't.
Right, and because I understand what you're saying. The only reason I would be semi-okay with him keeping him is because Greg Williams has showed us that he doesn't give a shit how much you get paid. If you're not playing well, he's going to
whoa,
back.
Why have him
watch the curtain?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
But Greg Williams also benched him though. So then you have a guy here to be. This was his chance. This was supposed to be the chance where he redeems himself. Todd Bowles left. Tremaine Johnson's reinvigorated. This is earned his contract year. Everything else. And what did he do? After being hurt, and he came back and got benched. He's got to go, dude. This is supposed to be a new culture, new era, new everything. He's got to go, and that's it. But Mike, give out your YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel? What's the name of it?
So it's NY Sports MC.
NY Sports. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll make sure to promote it. I'll definitely check it out, and I'll shoot you over some feedback.
All right, I appreciate it, man. You guys have a good night. Keep up the good work.
You too. Thanks. Joe, and the one thing with Tremaine is, dude, I understand, we got a couple of tweets about him, too, you got to keep him, he has too much talent. No, we don't.
Yeah.
Because this was supposed to be the year when he got out of Todd Bowles' doghouse. He had Greg Williams. Yeah. This is supposed to be the defense he's supposed to shine in, press corner, everything, reinvigorate himself, and he completely did nothing with it. He got hurt,
exactly.
he got benched, and he did nothing, and he basically quit. So, no, he has to go. I don't care if you got to endure a cap hit. You only get $3 million back. Away he goes. That's just a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, first I want to thank Mike for calling in. That was a great call from him. He brought a lot of fire. But you look at this stuff with Tremaine Johnson. I mean, he was put in just a crazy position to succeed. There was just nothing standing in his way. There was no guy even challenging him for that number one spot. We were all talking about how this defense was leaning on him, coming back and really being that number one corner that we needed him to be because he'd been so up and down since we'd actually signed him to that deal. And like you said, he completely collapsed. I mean, the guy did nothing. When he wasn't hurt, when he was out there, he was getting cooked by average-ass wide receivers. Nobody special. He never really looked good. And this was under Greg Williams, a guy that he's had success with in the past. And he just completely flopped. So, yeah, I'd like to move on from I understand the arguments that, hey, cutting him, you really don't save much. You're actually going to eat a lot of money from his deal, dead money, and all this other stuff. But, you got to get rid of him, man. You got to change the culture, and you got to open up a roster spot for a guy that gives a damn, that's going to go out there and really compete his tail off. So you got to get Tremaine's ass out of here.
Yeah, no, that's no question. We're going to go to our good friend Steve. Steve, what's up, man?
Oh, no, not
Joe. No way.
Even Tremaine Johnson put you to sleep, Steve? Oh, my goodness. It's the curse of Tremaine Johnson.
This is brilliant. This could be his best call ever.
Steve, are you serious? Oh, God. Steve, are you dreaming about Adam Gase? Is that what's going on here? Come on, man. Not
Steve,
like
your
this,
thoughts on Joe Douglas?
Not like this. What was that? So how do you think we'll address pass rusher?
This is his best. This is his best. This is the most
That's your take on pass rusher? What about corner? How do you think we'll address the corner position there, Steve? What?
Wish I could sleep like that.
Oh, my goodness. So you think Le'Veon Bell's going to be on the roster next year? Okay. All right, Steve. You're bringing the fire already, man. Your takes are scorching, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to put everybody else to sleep real quick.
I have a question for you, Joe. Is this considered cutting logs?
Oh, sawed logs. Man, this dude is out. Cold slam asleep.
Damn, this is like
this guy.
This is his best call ever. This is his best one. You can't beat this one. You get nothing better than this right here.
Talk about you snooze, you lose. He's hitting a 2-for-1, man. He gets his jets in and he gets his sleep in as well.
You know, And the funny thing is, this is the clearest his phone has been in 2 months.
Hey, man. Steve calling in from the sleep chamber. Maybe that's what it is, man. You think he's in the basement, or where do you think he's at right now? He's probably in his basement.
Where is the dog at?
He's probably in his...
Poor dog. How does the dog sleep through this?
Dog is probably asleep too. Everybody's knocked out in there, man. They're tired of it. They just decided to just lay down, man. That dog is tired of it all, man.
Should we keep him on and keep him as background noise for the rest of the show? Just like you got to overcome this.
Yeah, we should, man. This is the gauntlet, man. You got to bring your case. You got to overcome Steve, man, and his story. This dude sounds like a city bus. What's going on around here?
I want to try this. We're gonna leave Steve on because Steve's bringing tremendous insight, and now we're gonna bring on Justin. So Justin's got to overcome me, you, and Steve snoring. Justin, what's up, man?
Oh my God, what is going on?
Okay. We're all getting sleep. That's what's going on. Steve is what's going on, dude. Can you bring the fire through the snores? That's the real question.
This show just did a 360. I mean, first you gotta freaking reaching for the stars with a Tremaine Johnson. Someone wanting Tremaine Johnson to come back. Then you got your callers falling asleep. I mean, what's more ludicrous today?
Hey, man. It is what it is, all right? This is welcome to the Terror Dome. You got to overcome the sleeping and Tremaine Johnson. What else you got? Listen, first off, Justin, I want to welcome you to the show, man. You're already bringing the fire takes right now. I want to get your thoughts on this. I want to get your thoughts on this, man. How hard do you think it is for Joe Douglas to be able to sell this team to future free agents?
Hell yeah, I said it all. Yes, I mean, I said it all season. I mean, we're going to have a problem when it comes to free agency. I mean, this is going to be a hard sell.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the callers saying pay your own free agents, but then again, I'm like, yeah, really? You can't just open the checkbook and just give everyone what they want because we have about 700 holes on this roster.
That's a fact. That's a fact, and that's exactly what I said as well. When you look at the situation, it's like, man, what can you do? You know, are you going to overpay everybody? I mean, you got to afford all these positions. I don't overpay these guys, and then hell, you got to make sure you get Steve an air mattress. You know, where else is he going to sleep? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, all that on the budget. What's going on around here?
I think
a lot to do this offseason.
I think the cat kicked him out of his bed.
Yeah.
I think the cat got to bed tonight.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's talk about this free agency. I mean, let's call it what it is. Robbie's going to get about $14 million. I mean, I think I'd rather pay. Honestly, I think I'd rather pay him because, well, what else are we going to do with the money? Is we're going to create more holes. Let's not create more holes. I think the three guys we need to re-sign are no-brainers. Robbie, Jordan Jenkins, and Poole. Those are three no-brainers for Joe Douglas. If he can't get this right, he should just quit his job right now.
Yeah. Are you one of those guys that are looking at the situation? And Steve's bringing his takes right now. He's bringing his crazy insight. Hold on, Steve. Wait a second. We're dealing with Justin. All right, we know I know you got a lot to say, but when you're looking at this situation with Jamal Adams, are you looking at that saying, hey, he's a guy that you have to get a deal done with this year?
Absolutely not. Anyone saying that is just, they're flat out wrong because Jamal Adams doesn't play a premier position. Does Jamal Adams catch the ball? I mean, we don't have a number one. Does he catch the ball? No. Does he block? No. Does he coach? No. Does he return? No. Let's talk about kicker. We don't have a damn kicker either. I mean, come on, we don't have anything. It's just holes on holes on holes. If you pay Jamal, you're taking money away from at least 3 or 4 guys. To be honest with you, I don't want to see Jamal get paid this year because I mean that may create even more of a problem than we already have, which is crazy to say because we have like 800 holes.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's so many holes to address, and we are still going to be looking for a kicker. I know we've brought in Mar. We signed him to a future, deal, but Ficken's stuff is still in the wind. That's a great take right there. There's so many holes open on this team. Corner, offensive line, kicker. If Robbie's gone, it's going to be wide receiver, but we have a position filled here, and that position is sleeper, okay? Steve is our sleeper for the team. He's doing one hell of a job, all right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, running back as well. Let's get back to it. You look at the running back situation, like you said, Le'Veon, how do you think Joe Douglas should handle him, man? Is he a guy that he should trade? I mean, Steve, do you have any insight at all? Okay, we're going to go back to Justin then. Steve gave us his fire take. What about you, Justin?
I mean, Le'Veon, I said it, I was nervous about Le'Veon all season. I feel like we're going to give a fourth rounder or something, and we're going to eat some of his salary, and we're just, if we keep him, Gates doesn't know how to use him. So I don't even know with that situation. I mean, we just have so many holes on the roster. It's just mind-blowing at this point.
Steve is handling business, man. He's bringing so many fire takes right now. Steve's insight and what he's doing right now, I'm telling you, this is absolutely crazy. And I absolutely agree with you, Justin. You look at this situation, and I think with Le'Veon Bell for what he's getting paid. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think we should be talking about Jordan Jenkins coming back more because I think he's probably the most underrated on our team. I mean, I think Jordan Jenkins, now, the more I think of it, the more him or Poole need to be the number one re-sign. Like, Jordan Jenkins is going to get more money than we think, but he's worth it. He's probably maybe our most consistent player. Jordan Jenkins should get around a 3-year contract for $30 million, and he's a locker room leader. Never have to worry about him getting into trouble or anything like that. I mean, this is an easy softball to Joe Douglas. If Joe Douglas does not bring back Jordan Jenkins, then he should just kick the keys and just walk out of the office, let the launch pad lock on the second day, and just pack his bags. Because that's a softball to get started with the offseason, Jordan Jenkins. I mean, come on.
You think you're saying that Jordan Jenkins should get $10 million per season?
Yes, he's going to get paid. $10 million a year. He's going to get paid he's going to get paid that much. It's just that's just how the market works. Jordan Jenkins is getting around $10 million, I would say.
Wow. So it's
and guess what? I'd be perfectly fine. No questions asked. Perfectly fine with him getting that.
Okay, so if you're giving Jordan Jenkins $10 million, how much do you think pass rushers like Dante Fowler are getting in free agency then? Because that's
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Dante Fowler is a little. I mean, I thought he was good last season. I think I don't know. He's going to get what they usually are, considering he's going to be the top tier guy. The pass rushers always get paid, but honestly, I wouldn't mind paying 2 pass rushers, Jordan Jenkins, and maybe pairing him with a guy like Shaq Lawson. But I mean, I always get nervous with the pass rushers because they sometimes have a good year and then they tail off. Like with Shaq Barron, he kind of worries me a little bit with the 1 year. But I mean, I would like to pair a guy like Shaq Lawson with Jordan Jenkins.
Justin, I'm sorry, I just can't stop laughing. What are your thoughts on the Super Bowl, man? Who are you picking?
I think Kansas City's offense is just going to be too high-powered, but I mean, I would take Mahomes over Garoppolo. I mean, I didn't see enough sample size. I mean, him throwing the ball 6 times, I don't know. Something just tells me the Jimmy hype's a little overrated. I mean, when he's throwing the ball, he hasn't really thrown it in the fourth quarter when times really mattered. I would take Mahomes over Garoppolo.
So what's your score prediction?
Give me like a 24-30 game.
Cool. Justin, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Joe, this
man. I'm telling you, tremendous insight. Tremendous.
He's always wanted to co-host the show, and now he's done it. This is his first job of co-hosting. He's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he has. I mean, first off, I want to thank Justin for calling in. He fought through it all. He brought his fire. It was great hearing from him. But listen, Steve is doing it his way. You know what I'm saying? He's co-hosting and he's sleeping. It is what it is. I'm sure he's dreaming about the Jets right now. You can hear it. You can hear the anger and the snores. You can hear. So, I'm just hoping that, everyone else out there is getting as good a sleep as Steve is, because this man is well rested at all times, okay? And there's a reason for that. It's because he practices. He lays down, he puts his eyes, he closes his eyes, and he gets his snore on. So, shout out to Steve for joining us, man. I love his insight. I love what he brought to the table.
I mean, so can you imagine a first-time listener of this show? A first-time listener's probably like, what in the living hell is going on?
Well, I'm pretty sure they think we're a sleeping podcast, We're a show that's all about sleep and sleep therapy. That's probably, listen, we're all-encompassing, okay? We're about everything. This show, we talk Jets football, but the team, damn it ain't that good. Sometimes you got to talk about life. And look what Steve is doing right now. He's letting us all know how important sleep is to him and everybody else. It should be, too. So, hey, it is what it is. Shout out to our first-time callers. Steve's just getting his snore on. That's what it's all about. Ooh, man, he is
we should at least get a sleep apnea advertiser or something. I mean, we should get some kind of sponsors out of this.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to open doors around here. Maybe that's what Steve is trying to do here. He's trying to attract these sponsors, man. He's letting them know, hey, there are people that listen to us that snore. What's up? You know what I'm saying? When are you guys going to step up? Contact us, at Talk Jets Radio on Twitter. We're on Facebook as well. You know what I'm saying? Let us know that you're out there. We have no issues promoting your product if it's going to help Steve not snore like this. You know what I mean? He's letting you know. He stepped in front of the bullet. He's willing to sleep live to let you guys know that there is an audience here for your product. What's up? Come on. You guys got to step up to the table, man. You got to.
I haven't laughed this hard. I can't tell you, dude. In Justin's entire phone call, I couldn't even talk, dude. I was just dying. I can't. This is just freaking hysterical. My goodness.
It's crazy. Ooh, you sound like a diesel engine over there. I mean, he's going in right now.
I can only imagine.
I'm serious,
Prime time trying to make this show all professional and we're just completely destroying it. We lost.
Man, Adam Gase. Adam Gase is our head coach. That professor, that's over. All right. You got Steve on the line. He sounds like a V8 that just started up. He's ready for his little change. It's time to get real around here. All right. Steve is letting everybody know I snore. Who can help? All right. Is it going to be Jet? Can Joe Douglas fix Steve snoring? There's all kinds of questions that are coming out now. Does Adam Gase have a game plan against Steve snoring? What's up? You know what I'm saying? What's up? Can Greg Williams coach around Steve snoring? That's the game plan for this week. Come on.
Oh, my God. I can't take it.
We got to step it up around here. Steve is the one bringing the fire right now. I see it. I see through it all. This was all a very well-laid plan. All right? Very well laid.
I have not laughed this hard in so long. My eyes are
we got a lot of positions open.
Screen. Oh,
we got a lot of positions open, but Steve is showing up with his air mattress and his Tempur-Pedic. He's ready to go. He's in here.
You know what it is? He's like, you know how some stadiums pump in crowd noise? Steve's actually pumping in our crowd noise right now. He's trying to intimidate us.
No,
we got to save that.
We do have to. That'd be crazy. We just do away with the Jets chant. All right, that time's over. Let's pump in Steve snoring. That will completely disrupt everybody. That will completely disrupt the other team. I see it now. I see it now, man. I see it now. Let's do it.
We got to hang up. I can't take the more. I can't take the more. I had to hang up, Joe. I can't take the more.
Listen, man.
Listen, I can't.
I want to thank Steve for calling in, man. That was phenomenal.
That was his best call he's ever had. That's a legendary call from Steve right there. He can never top that one.
No, by far. By far. But take
my God.
While snoring? Really? Man, listen,
yeah, I mean,
if you don't sound like a V8 when you call in, something's going on around here. You know what I'm saying? Steve brought it, man. Steve brought it.
So, Joe, what is your Super Bowl prediction?
Steve. He's the winner of everything. Who cares? But no, seriously, Man, it's so tough. It's really so tough. I want to say the Chiefs, but the Niners, their front is so tough, and they get after it. I've seen them shut down top-tier offenses consistently, and really get after it. But I don't know. I think the Chiefs are going to find a way. Right now, I'm leaning more towards the Chiefs. I'm going to do more and more analysis to really, kind of gather what, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs for now. I'm going to say it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. And I think that the Niners are going to have to chase them. I think that that's where the Niners are going to fall short. Because I do think the Niners have a nice offense, but they're just not as high-powered as the Chiefs. So I'll take it the Chiefs close one, but high-scoring, and the Chiefs take it away late, as of right now.
Yeah, I'm a part of me, I can relate to the Chiefs, Andy Reid. I want to see him get a ring. And the Chiefs fans, man, Jets fans. I mean, it's been 50 years. I mean, there's the great loyal fan base, just amongst the best fans in football. You just want to see them get a ring, man. I'm rooting for them, but for some reason, I think the 49ers win this game, and you touched on it. I think it's just their defense is ferocious, and their offense, they don't count on Jimmy Garoppolo to beat you, but I think he can. But they're going to run the ball, they're going to wear you out, and then attack you with the defense. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a real good game. Right now, I'll probably subject to change. I'm going to root for the Chiefs, but I think the 49ers win it. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's a 3 or 4 point game.
Yeah. I think the same. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring, though. I really, really do. I mean, I'm sure Steve's going to sleep on it.
We can at least.
Yeah, we'll get a take later. Just let him sleep on it.
So as we wrap things up, first of all, we want to say we're on Instagram and Twitter. My eyes are tearing so bad. At Talk Jets Radio. We're on YouTube. Let's Talk Jets Radio. Also, check out our new channel. Let's Talk Mental Health. Just type that in. Check it out. It's on our social media too. You can follow us there and subscribe. And we're on iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all those good things. Check it out. Subscribe. We're year-round. We'll start talking free agency and draft and everything else. And, Joe, this has been a doozy. It's your time to shine, man.
Yeah, before I get, listen, we're still looking for sponsors. Tipperpedic, what's up? You see that we have customers that are right here that could use your help. You know what I'm saying? Sleep therapists. Hey, we're all here to advertise for you. Steve's let you guys know. But listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people, and we shamelessly promote our Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Let's Talk Jets Radio. Like that page. Our content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message us. We'll message you right back. We love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave us some feedback. We love hearing about what you folks think we do here on Let's Talk Jets Radio. I'm also on Twitter, okay, at YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge. I will have my Darnold jersey on, and I'll be awake, okay? I don't sleep all the time. I stay up quite a bit. So when you contact me, just know, you know what I'm saying? You'll get it back immediately. I don't sleep. I stay woke, you know what I'm saying? But it's no disrespect to those that do sleep. Get your hours in, just like Steve. I'm also on YouTube as well at YoungJ00. That's 2 zeros on YouTube, 3 on Twitter. I do weekly videos. I talk about the Jets. I talk about other teams on my platform as well. I might be extending my platform soon. Might do some sleep therapy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of feeling the vibe of that. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to kind of get into that world. Maybe I need to get into getting that 8 hours, like the doctors say, of sleep. Really help you out. Steve's getting his. I got to get mine, all right? So, look, go ahead and subscribe to my content on there as well. Sleeping channel coming soon, so be on the lookout for that too. Snoring with Joe. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you guys know what's upcoming, all right? So go ahead and subscribe to my content on there. You want to message me, I'll message you right back. I'm woke all the time, so I'll be woke on that one as well. You want to troll me, no issue. We can go back and forth. And that's that on that. So, look, when you folks see me in person, all right? When you see me in person, if you're awake.
Derek, you better yell, show me the money!
Listen, I have never taken money. Nope, never taken money at all. When you see me in person, it's arms out, chest open, and it's free hugs for everybody. Free hugs for everyone. They'll cost you absolutely nothing. I need you to be awake, but the hugs are absolutely free, okay? They will cost you nothing. I want to thank you folks for listening. Without you people, we are absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen and call into us. You folks are the absolute best. And again, I want to say rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gigi, and all those that were affected and the other victims that happened with the crash of the helicopter. We send in love, thoughts and prayers your way. Kobe, we miss you and we love you, man.
Yeah, well said. Sorry, I can't even talk. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll be the Jets will be 0-0 starting Sunday night. That's one positive. And we'll talk to everybody next week.